Oh, oh, my head. Oh, my everything. Tricks? Oh, what happened last night? Uh, don't you remember? After we found out we were going to do a Mike and Vic all month in the next month, we decided to do a badass pose telling Mike and we weren't going to stand for it. I remember that. Then immediately following the badass pose, you said, let's get hosed first. So, we all grabbed a giant hose, sprayed ourselves, then we proceeded to get high off enough caffeine to probably kill a horse. Then we fell to bed. Apparently, you decided to do your New Year's celebration just one day early. Oh, Trixie can't feel her anything below her hose. I know how it feels. Oh, my head hurts. Let's see if I can't... Narrator. Yes? Do you have the Linkara Vic set up? Yep, don't worry. I got everything set up for you party animals. My God. Good. For all of you who don't know, every year around this time, we have a little celebration. In order to honor the idea that we come from such humble beginnings and bad fix, we have to look at somebody who really made it big. For me, I like looking up at Linkara's old stuff. It helps me realize how far I've become by looking at how far a writer who I also admire has come. Also, kind of funny to look at some of Linkara's old stuff and see where the origins of certain characters, or see how certain ideas come to be that would show up later in some of his Atata 4 Fall stories. So, without further ado, here is some more of his Evangelion Vic, Evangelion Tribulations After. Enjoy. Evangelion Tribulations After by Sideweedle, aka Linkara. Chapter 4. What do you want? Don't ask us that question. Report 398 from Masato Kusaragi to United Nations Special Division. Subject: assuming leadership of Nerve and end of Seele. Date: January 2nd, 2016. A year late and $1 short. I was quite surprised when I was promoted to the head of Nerve until its scheduled disbanding in 2017. Nerve Special Forces are still searching for Gendo Ikari, father of the third child, Shinji Ikari, and former head of Nerve. No progress has been made ever since he disappeared on December 29, 2015, while escaping from Seele search forces. The first thing I'd like to relay are the events that are happening in the past 48 hours. First and foremost was the Seele forces entering Nerve by means of unsecured waste hatches and burning in from underneath ventilation ducts. After releasing a gas that rendered all of Nerve personnel unconscious, they fitted Shinji Ikari, Rei Anami, Asuka Langley, Risuko Akagi, Maya Ibuki, Shigeru Oba, Makoto Hyuga, and myself in a cybernet, linking all our brains into a dreamlike scenario. The scenario was reduced to our system by means of psychopathic drugs, which have been flushed out of our systems now. Seilei's intention was to turn all details about initiating the third impact before proceeding. When they were finished, they placed us all in a second dream state for happiness until third impact would occur as payment for our services to them. Shinji, Rei, Asuka, and myself all retreated into a section within the dream scenario, where a mysterious boy met us. First, we assumed he was a figment of our collective imaginations in the dream state, but he proved to be a living boy outside of the dream realm. He explained the situation of the dream state to us, and how to escape from it. Escaping, we informed the UN of Seilei's plans, and formed a coalition of multiple governments' military forces in a combined strike against Seile, along with Eva Units 1 and 2. The mysterious boy accompanied us was to purposely destroy Unit 4, not giving any real explanation how he came across it. We destroyed 8 of the 9 Evangelions Seile had produced for their own purposes. The 9th was already at Nerve, Attempting to free the being known as Lilith and initiate third impact. As Lilith assisted into the sky, the mysterious boy left Unit 4, and, you're not going to believe this, grew wings from his back. He flew above Lilith and said, "Not this time. They are not for you. Yet." Lilith then proceeded to leave, and the mysterious boy disappeared as well. For the rest of the time, military forces have arrested the CLA Council and most of CLA's military personnel. Religious fanatics have begun uprising in several areas of the world, claiming we have lost our chance of ascending to heaven, or Eden, or whatever they call the afterlife these days. Repairs on Units 1, 2, and 4 have begun. Unit 0's repair is still under consideration. Until such time as Unit 0's repair is confirmed, Rei Anami is now the designated pilot of Unit 4. End of message. Large craze. That scene with Blast! I swear he needs to learn how to put in a freaking giant line across the screen. Ow! Placed the lifeless body of Unit 4 into several trucks, all linked together. The trucks drove out and back into Nerve HQ. Rei, Shinji, and Asuka watched from a nearby building.
They say it's going to take 2 days to repair it. It'll take another 2 days for me to sync with it. Then we need to test it, which will take another day. I'm going to miss the mission, guys.
Rei says, "Oh, what mission?" Shinji asks.
Shinji, you idiot! Did you get the mission form? In southern India, a rogue group has stolen some Ava plans and are constructing these 3 giant robots similar to the Evangelions, but entirely mechanical. We are going there to take them out.
Asuka explains. "Great, more killing," Shinji says, hanging his head down.
Oh, wait. Hold it. She's not the only one who's feeling weird, huh? I mean, Buzzerbringer here has already said that he has never watched a single episode of Ava. And yet, he is able to voice these characters well? How the flip does that happen?
Oh, simple. I've watched enough reviews and listened to some of the voice actors on their respective series that I actually kind of do know their voices pretty well. This is what happens when you watch enough reviews of a show that you actually come to understand it pretty well.
Oh. Well, continue. He's going to continue to talk to Carrot Top about getting the hangover potions he can make.
Right. See ya, Trix.
Don't you remember what that boy said? The world's not a happy place, but it's people like the ones we're being sent to destroy who threaten our chances to make the world a happy place,
Asuka says.
"Doesn't make it right," Shinji replied. "I do not think it's right. Sometimes we have to do things we don't want to do. We have to accept that and do what's best. Sometimes doing what's best and doing the right thing are not the same,"
Asuka explains.
"Whatever. I'm going to get something to eat," Shinji said, walking away.
Asuka frowns when he is out of sight. It's the kid.
"Subtly looking at other people's feelings for a change, Asuka,"
Rei asks, raising an eyebrow.
"Clever today. After what I went through in that dream, I've had an epiphany,"
Asuka replies.
"We all did, except for Shinji. His emotions towards himself and the rest of the world switch on and off. Sometimes he's Captain Naffy. Others he's Superman,"
Rei speaked.
Vic, can we please stop this with this whole entire present tense thing? It's starting to get confusing. "The kid needs a good kick in the butt to wake him up to the real world. I thought that boy gave it to him,"
Asuka says.
"It's going to take more than that. Most likely since he's going to retreat in his own mind to find meaning."
"He spends too much time alone. The guy needs a girlfriend," Asuka says.
"You make a comment about End of Ava in a freaking bed, and the next thing will kill you!"
No.
"He had one, remember?" "I remember Mana, but she still hasn't come back, even though the little purpose of Ava is done with. She's probably forgotten about Shinji anyway,"
Asuka returned.
"Don't be too certain about the power of love. It does some wonderful things for a person."
Rei smiled.
"Like you and Shinji's dad,"
Asuka inquired.
Rei sneered. "Remember, I'm the third clone. Maybe the other two appreciated him, but to me, he'll be just a person who tried to use me. He tried to use me for his own twisted desires."
"The way I hear it, he seemed to last to use life," Asuka said.
"That wasn't me. My soul's finally with me.
and I know him for only what he tried to do to the world, and how I was just a puppet. That's a dream. Besides, we're supposed to be helping Shinji. Why don't you take him? Ray asked. And why don't you? He's obviously likes you more, Asuka replies. Because I'm a clone of his mother and an angel. I think the whole mother thing isn't going to help him much, Ray explains. Touché. We tried over 10 locations where Gendo must have likely gone. Nothing. Sekiro reported himself. Ow! Again with the scene with last. Ow! Mercy, Saiwito. Mercy! Then try the places it's unlikely for him to be. We have to find him immediately. God knows what he's planning. Misawa replies. Understood, ma'am, Sekiro said, walking away. Sekiro saluted and calmly walked out of Misawa's office. Misawa looked at the picture of Kaji on her desk. Why did that kid lie about the murder of Kaji? She reported to herself. Okay, here's the plan. JSSDF forces will begin the assault, taking out the militant group's main defenses. The robots they created, using an anagram of Evangelions for the name, called Neoglaive, have an energy field protecting them similar to an AT field, but cruder, requiring a lot more power, several generators to create them. This energy field protects them from the conventional attack, so we're going to need the Avas to handle them. Do not touch the energy field with Ava's body, though. The field will break down the molecules of whatever it touches to harmless atoms. Misawa explained to the Fed system. So don't have to raise us to fight with, Asuka replies. The rifles for the Avas have been refitted with a particle dispersion system. A concentrated attack for 10 seconds. It should disable the field in whatever section you hit it in, leaving them vulnerable to attack, Misawa explains. When will the JSSDF forces start attacking? Sensei asks. 10 seconds ago, Misawa reports. Sit back and wait till we give you the signal. Misawa's signal is bleaked out, leaving Asuka and Sensei alone to talk. However, they wait 20 seconds before one of them finally speaks. Sensei, today and I think you should start giving us social life, Asuka says, opening conversation. I'm not a social person, Asuka. When did you start caring if I had a social life or not? Sensei asked. We're going to be facing some hard times ahead of us, Sensei. When you start to break down again, we're going to need someone you can turn to support. Maybe you should track down Mana, Asuka says. No, she's obviously moved on, forgetting about me. It's for the best, Sensei stays put. The neon claims are coming out earlier than expected. This is our coup, Asuka! Sensei reports. Asuka stiffened up and readied herself for battle. Ready when you are, Wonder Boy. There are 3 neon glaives, Neo for short, guarding the installation. The installation itself was built into an iron-raced mountainside. It was about 10 stories high, with gun and missile turrets built into the minor defenses. One of the sentences needs a comma. One of these sentences is a fragment. Can you find the fragment in this paragraph? If you can, you get a free burger. The NIOs were about the same as Ava's, if not shorter. All 3 had the right arm enhanced by being replaced by either a giant chainsaw, a giant gun, or a giant 3-pronged Groen. Let me repeat that. Each mecha had the right arm enhanced by the hand being replaced by either a giant chainsaw, a giant gun, and a 3-pronged claw. Great. We're being attacked by evil Ash! Now, let's aren't wring our hands. They were otherwise human in appearance, besides the head, which was more ovular and had one giant eye in the center of it. The green energy sealed around them was quite visible. Alright, I'll take the 30th 13th ripoff and Gunboy. You think you can handle the claw? Asuka asked. Asuka? Evil Dead ripoff! If you're going to bring out your pop culture references, get it right! I'll be fine. You be careful, alright? Sensei asked. Does Sensei finally care about me? Asuka asked, winking. Let's get to work, Sensei says, cutting out the link. Linkara, can we talk? Do you have this thing for Asuka? I'm just asking because she's got a lot of badass scenes, and I'm trying to think I noticed what type of anime girl you're most attracted to, because, let's see, we so far have had Ray as the badass, you had your character wind up with Ray, and now we got a lot of screen time to Asuka. Is this something I should know? Is this something you need to talk about on the show? Because, remember, the comment section's down below. We can talk, Link. Thank you.
What would you do if Linkara actually wrote a comment on the show?
Die of a heart attack. Units 1 and 2 fired out the carriers that held him to the ground. While Unit 2 ran at the 2, she decided to attack, since he had Unit 1 rise at the particle rifle and fire a Claw Neo. The Neo was hit back a little as Unit 1 fired constantly. The energy shield he was hitting began to show signs of collapsing. But Neo still walked at Shinji, clamping his claw together in preparation for a strike against Shinji. Finally, the shield collapsed, and the gun's power drained totally. Shinji threw to the guy on the side and readied the progressive knife. Wow, it's allowing black people to star in movies, and it's allowing female directors to happen. It really is progressive. Boo! 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 Horrible! You're going to get fired for that joke. The Neo came running at 01, but since he prepared, Unit 01 jumped into the air, kicked the Neo straight in the head when it approached, knocking it to the side. Unit 1 then grabbed the dazed Neo and aimed his progressive knife at the location of his power core. Shinji, don't! If you explode the core this close... But Misao's warning was ill-timed as Unit 1 slammed the knife into the Neo, exploding its core. The explosive's fire burned and melted some of the outer casing at the front of Unit 1, so they're hurling it back into the mountain. Unit 1's arms were flailing, and his left arm collided straight through the installation, cutting it in a rugged half. As it hit into the mountain, rocks in half of the mountain fell into Unit 1, covering the torso, most of the arms, and the head. Shinji! 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 Can you hear me? Dun 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 bum bum bum! Asuka screamed as she disabled the last Neo. Shinji awoke to find his plug suit torn, and looked around himself, noticing a big chunk of rock sticking through the right side of the entry plug. He saw several holes beneath him, and noticed the LCL was gone, obviously having been drained out. He tried to move. It was met with a sharp pain in his lower right side. He looked down to see a large gas leaking blood quickly. Shinji took some of the tattered remains of his plug suit and pressed it against the wound. Didn't help the pain much.
Great. Buried underneath 50 tons of rock inside a giant artificially evolved human. I really screwed up this time.
Yeah, you certainly did. Shinji didn't know where the voice came from. He looked to one side himself then the other, trying to understand what had happened. He suddenly looked in front of him to see the mysterious boy, sitting in front of him in his green plug suit. You really messed up this one, Shinji, he said.
Oh god, I'm delusional,
Shinji yelled. Maybe. Or maybe I'm your self-esteem. Finally here to give you a good kick in the butt, the boy said, smiling.
Can't we just have a couple of cryptic mind messages and get it over with?
No, not on this show! The boy's smile faded. No. You aren't going to give me any of that fundamentalist mind philosophy crap now, Ikari. You're going to sit here and listen to me while I explain to you what the hell is wrong with you. Unit 2 began to dig into the mountain with his hands, trying to burrow in and get Shinji out. Asuka, stop! You could cause another rock fall from within and kill Shinji! Wait for teens to get here and get him out! Shinji saw his hands begin to have blood stains on them as he began to lose more and more blood from the wound. You know what your problem is, Shinji? You keep running away. You couldn't bear to live without seeing your father again, so you ran to him when he asked you to come. You couldn't accept the way the nerve fought, so you ran away twice, trying to find meaning. Then you kept running into your own mind to find meaning, and that wasn't enough. You still couldn't think that you needed to live! Shinji tried to say something, but started his voice began to lose strength. Oh, I'm sorry. You're too busy dying right now. I guess that's a little bit more important to you now, eh? Fine with me, because you served your purpose, Shinji. Your life ain't worth spitting now! But they have to do something! There's nothing you could do but offer emotional support to Shinji, if he comes out alive. Sal says, he has to. Please, God, he has to. You're really feeling cold now, Shinji? Are you feeling cold? Shinji was sick and tired of listening. Sick and tired of hearing how he wasn't good enough or how his purpose had been served. He was sick of cryptic messages and dreams telling him to live life. He was sick of not wanting to live. Susie grabbed on a nearby lever and began to pull himself up. "I want," he muttered. "What? What do you want? What? After all this, what could you possibly want?" "I want to live!" he yelled as he continued to pull, feeling a wave of pain on him. "Why? You'll just screw up your life again," he screamed, trying to get up. You son of a... Ah! The boy walked the room. "Fine. You want to live? Stand up, Shinji." "I can't." "You won't. I don't care how much it hurts. Stand up!" Shinji was tired of being used. Tired of not getting what he wanted. Tired of waiting for his father to finally see he was proud of him. He knew of only one real way to get him to say that, and so Shinji began to stand up. "That's it, Shinji. Stand up and fight for what you believe in. Now stand up and get yourself out of here!" Shinji began to push the rocks out from on top of him, still climbing up. "Yes, come on, Shinji. Don't give in to pain, because that's another kind of running away. Do you want to live? Yes! Will you give up? Never! When will you run away? I won't! Then get up on your feet and live!" "It used to be like a fairy tale, a so-long story. We change our world and receive our hero's glory." Oh, sorry. I'll see myself out now. Susie roared with primal fury as he got up and began pushing away the rocks. "Ooh! Whoop! I think Susie's backbone does screw 3 sizes!" Climbing up higher as he suddenly saw a piece of light shine through. Saw Asuka's pole extended hand pushing away the rocks. Susie helped with the last one, and their eyes met. "Congratulations, Ikari. You're going to live." The boy disappeared, and Shinji collapsed on his back, smiling. Chapter 5. Clues 1. Shinji cut into some more of the French toast and ate the piece he cut out. The mirror's boy sat down onto the nearby table cross-legged. He was now in civilian clothes with a white t-shirt and blue jeans. He had black boots on his feet. "That was very helpful information. We thank you. We thank you kindly for the very important information that you have given us on this day. Thank you." "So, how is it?" he asked. "Great. What did you call it again?" Shinji asked. "French toast. Used to eat it back in the day," the boy replied. "And what day would that be?" the boy inquired. "That day, a long time ago." Shinji put down his fork and said, "You know, while I'm in the hospital, I've been watching some Babylon 5 show you're so obsessed with." "And who and me?" "Couldn't help but notice you taking a line from them here and there." The boy shrugs. "Babylon 5 is good for 2 things. Entertainment and life lessons." "Damn straight!" "Ikari, take the words I steal for what they are. You know, some days you gotta admire what Sidewheel does. When Mike steals things, he tries to say, 'Well, it's different, so it's technically my idea.' When Sidewheel steals things, he's like, 'Yeah, well, I stole it. What you gonna do about it, sucker?' That is why I love Sidewheel. That is why Sidewheel is awesome. And that is why we spend every year reading his stuff." The conversation was interrupted by a knock on the door. Shinji called for whoever it was to come in, and looked at the boy again, only to see he had disappeared. Asuka, Misato, and Ray walked into the hospital room. Ray was calling flowers. "Hey, little boy, look what we brought," Asuka says. "Guys, you didn't have to," Shinji smiled. "You know, Shinji, seeing you smile, it's going to be a weird thing to get used to," Asuka states. "Get used to it. Thanks to that mysterious boy, I've had an epiphany. I'm going to appreciate my own life. As soon as I can leave the hospital, I'm taking you 3 out a night on the town," Shinji says. "Sounds nice," Ray says. "Bet you 100 yen he gets drunk and tries to sleep with me," Asuka says. Ray smiled and replied, "You're on." Seems we all changed a little thanks to this boy. Ray has a soul directly connected to her. Asuka's not suicidal, and Shinji's not obsessive-compulsive depressant, Misato says. "What about you, Misato? What has our new friend done for you lately?" Shinji asked, taking in a piece of French toast to his mouth. Misato closed her eyes and didn't answer the question. "I didn't consider him a friend yet. He may have helped us all. I'm sorry, but seeing a spelling mistake like he and then replacing it accidentally with hey and not even knows it, for shame, Jock, for shame. But he is still being utterly secretive. Doesn't tell us who he is, or how he knows these things he knows. We don't know how he got the powers he has, like walk through walls, the wings, or even is connected to us while we're in the dream state they created. Oscar reminded him.
I think we should let him have his privacy. He'll tell us his secrets when he's ready,
Ray says. And I won't wait. Everyone turned and saw Risco leaning against the doorway.
Risco, you're out of the mental recovery ward?
Sissy states.
Well, having a dream where your mother betrayed you for her lover and getting shot by that lover isn't exactly a pleasant thing to get overnight. I'm ready to turn over work at Nerve, but there's a little project I'd like to run first, she says.
What kind of project?
The Nerve database has files on that kid, but most of the ones pertaining to his identity are classified. Except he Gendo's handprint, voice code, retinal pattern, and handwriting before letting anyone see it. There's some unclassified files that I'm discovering. These are clues to the mysterious boy's identity. I'm going to look at them, see if I can't find out who that kid is, Risco reports. Risco looked at the large computer screen in front of her. There were 20 files in front of her. Most of them marked classified. Computer, bring in the first non-classified that has relevance to my search, Risco commanded. The file brought up a report made in 2002 by an officer, made by audio.
We're near Antarctica today. Most of us have been scared to come there ever since the meteor collided into it. Afraid what kind of radiation or poisons could still be with it, the man said in the file. Risco rolled her eyes. She knew that there had been no meteor to collide and caused the second impact. But we were given orders and had to obey them. It was turning dark quickly, faster than we expected, and getting colder. One of my men went down below to get us a warmer coast when we saw it. The 3 of us were at the time. We'll never forget what I saw. To our right, on a floating chunk of ice, a bright light suddenly appeared. None of us had been facing that light, but we looked at it immediately, as soon as we saw the large flash on the corner of our eye. We looked to investigate, and for about 10 seconds we could see a boy, around 14 years old, now standing on the ice. He had his arms crossed and looked out into everything. Not to be confused by the author who was writing this thing. Nope, not at all. Nope. So totally not matching the same age, body weight, and clothing he probably likes. Nope, not at all. We have been very surprised. Many people have been venturing down here ever since the meteor collided, thinking it was actually some kind of religious thing. What really took us by surprise was the fact that there seemed to be solid sources of light on his back, shaped like wings. Suddenly, he went in our direction and just disappeared. We are writing this up as a hallucination caused by the cold and possible radiation from the meteor. End report. I swear, if he turns out to be a Vorlon, I am out of this fic! The file stopped. Risco stopped and thought for a moment. They weren't very descriptive about the boy, but 14 years sounds about right. The rest of this has some mysteries. If this is the same boy, what was he doing in Antarctica? And how was he still 14 after we met him 14 years later? Computer, what's the next file unclassified? Nerve covering opening from Nerve. Would you like to process? Show me. The image flickered to that of a CNN broadcast, subtitled in Japanese letters. We are here live in Tokyo 3 for the opening of an organization designed to help the world after the meteor crash in 2000. The supposed leader of this organization is one Gendo Ikari, whose will is in charge of supervising. Before I stopped talking, was he suddenly noticed the cameraman looking up. The mysterious boy was there, floating in the sky, and slowly takes the wings on his back. Well, if he was floating without wings on his back, I'd be questioning on how he knew the sky dancing technique. And now wore a white jumpsuit and a cape and a large collar as well. Oh my god, that is no mysterious angel. That's big one for Chaka! It's a white jumpsuit and a cape of a large collar as well. Linkara, sometimes we gotta talk to you about costume design. I really think you improved it. He held in his hand a flaming white sword. Officers began to open fire on him, but he ignored the bullets. He raised his sword in the air and charged at Gendo. Gendo only looked at the boy with shock as he came down, preparing to kill Gendo where he stood. But then, 2 feet further away from Gendo, he disappeared. Nothing on the tape could offer any explanation or tell what had just happened. The file ended. What's going on here? The boy not only seen in Antarctica, but instead of opening nerve, why was he trying to kill Linkara? Well, besides the obvious reasons. Let's go look at the list of other files, even the ones encrypted. Computer, could I access Magi and have it design a program to break the codes interconnected with the system? Affirmative. Projected time to complete such encrypting, 2 weeks. Started. Defer any non-essential systems to it. We need those files. What about the next non-encrypted file? Processing. The screen showed energy readings of inside nerves. The records were from Seele had placed them in the dream state. Energy readings all read normal, except for the areas containing the Avas, was beginning to rise in certain parts, but students decided soon afterwards. The energy readings in the room nearby where Masato, Sensei, Asuka, and Ray had been rose for no reason. The readings were similar to that of the angels, but not the same. Could the mysterious boy be an angel? Unlikely. Rita turned around to see Masato standing in the doorway. She walked over and looked at the energy readings. Wait, are we in the same room? Did we change settings? What happened? Are the trio there? Vic, you're starting to cause me to go a little crazy. Or so than usual. There were 17 angels, all of them accounted for, starting with Adam and ending with Karu. Unless you count humans, which are technically the 18th angel, she said. But it doesn't make sense. Who is this guy? Where did he come from? What does he want? Risco asked rhetorical questions. How many clues about this guy do you have? Masato questioned. One more. From when he stopped Lilith. Everything else is highly classified. Show me, Masato commanded. Years 1 and 2 watched Lilith begin to ascend, but noticed the boy holding out his arms in the air, like he does to care. Suddenly, bulges grew on his back. Then, the green plug suit he wore began to split in the back. The sight before them stunned Asuka and Sitsi as white energy began to glow out of the boy's back. Then, suddenly, they were 8 feet long energy bands that came out from all sides and spotted the 2 boys' back. They flapped, and the boy flew towards Lilith. Unit 13 put its arm in front of the boy. But the boy just narrowed his eyes and increased speed, slamming straight through the hand and punching a hole through it, continuing to fly towards Lilith. Lilith took one look at the boy, stopped floating. It just hovered there as the boy flew above it. He hovered there for 10 seconds until the boy finally spoke. This is not the time. They, the boy spoke, pointing towards Asuka and Sitsi, are not for you. Yet. Do you understand? Lilith nodded. Leave now. You know how P.O.'d Big J gets when he has to wait. The boy said, smiling. You know the thing I love about Linkara's OCs and these stories? I love that. Well, most of the bad OCs I've ever had to encounter are usually noble, brave, and strong. And usually will speak like there's some sort of dadgum superhero going, hey, we fight for right and justice. Linkara's OCs are snarky, one-liner badasses that will riff on you to hell and back. I love them for this. I love them when they do this because that makes them so much more approachable. That is why they are some of my favorite OCs to deal with. Anyway, continue, Mr. Gary Stu. The boy said, smiling. Lilith nodded, disappeared. Big J, could he mean Jesus? Yo, man, what's up? Let's go ask. J can mean anything. For all we know, it could be John Wayne, Masato replies. Still, with the flight and mysterious powers, he could be a real angel, Masato says. Quit poking around. The voice came from nowhere, yet everywhere. Standing quite angrily on the wall was mysterious voice. His eyes narrowed at Risco and Masato. You should not concern yourself in things that don't involve you, he stated. Well, if you're going to be a danger to us, it does involve us, Risco says, standing up. I believe my assistance in stopping Third Impact shows my colors. I've been watching you and helping you people since day 1. I saw your mother kill the first Ray. I saw her commit suicide. I saw all the clones of Ray being completed. I saw the second Impact firsthand. And I know about the souls of Asuka's mother and Shichi's mother in the Avas before anyone gave it a first half or thought. Oh, I know your real identity now. You're Hideki, I know. I protected you people from harm since before you were born, and all you can do is be stupid, curious human beings that you are. If you're not human, what's on you? Boy Armor Risco quickly puts his hands on Risco's head. It was just scenes entire years flashed before Risco's eyes. She saw death, rebirth, blood, life, the torments of her own soul before she even knew what was happening. Risco collapsed on the ground, crying. What did you do to her? Masato demanded. The boy turned and faced Masato. What do you know about hell, Masato? Would you like to see it? Hers and mine? Masato was bewildered, but understood the moment the boy touched his hands upon her head. It was just for both Risco's mind and the boy flashed at Masato. Screamed from the mental tension placed on her. The boy finally let her go and collapsed on the ground as well, panting and crying. What are you? In truth, I am a messenger, nothing more. Stop trying to understand things that don't concern you, Risco, for your benefit, and for those children that Masato claims to protect. Mysterious boy vanished in front of their eyes. What the hell? One more. Chapter 6. Why are you here?
Guess Sensei-kun can't hold his liquor,
Masato says, pulling the boy out of the bar and into the car.
It's just that. You gave him the fake ID so he could get the beer he drank,
Asuka says, helping Masato with Sensei.
With those three,
the mysterious boy and Ray were accompanied to Sensei-sponsored night in the town. Ray wore a nice red dress that she bought instantly. In the past, she wouldn't have really cared about what she wore, but she had developed some kind of fashion in one ever since the mysterious boy locked her soul into that body. Ray is smirking as he watched Asuka and Masato load an unconscious Sensei into the back of the car.
It's the boy's fault. He was the one who produced it for me,
Masato grunts. Look, we can all sit here playing the blame game and try to figure out who produced what fake ID, or we can call Lincoln Sensei back to your apartment where you can sleep and think of dancing Evangelions, the boy suggests. They all state blankly.
You're really not strange, you know that,
Asuka states. Yes, it helps, the boy replies.
Helps what?
Exactly, the boy responded. Shortly after, everyone got in the car and drove back into the apartment building that Sensei, Asuka, Masato, and Ray lived in. Asuka angrily paid Ray the 100 yen she had bet that Sensei would try to sleep with her after he got drunk. Well, one crisis is over, another one begins. You people are going to have some serious problems cleaning up after all your race has done in the past few days. The boy says,
They can handle it,
Asuka smugly said. It's a mystery how you people survived the Ice Age with that kind of self-righteous attitude, the boy mumbled.
Speaking of mysteries, Ray says, we still yet to uncover one mystery. How long are you going to keep your identity secret from us?
The boy raised his head up and looked around. How many angels can dance on the head of a pin?
Excuse me,
Masato inquires. That question baffles religious figures even today, but I know the answer. How many angels can dance on the head of the pin? As many as wanted. How long am I going to keep my orders from you? As long as I want. You'll learn. Patience is also a weapon when used correctly, the boy explains.
Patience is an obstacle. I'm unbreakable to everything, including patience,
Asuka states. Said the Titanic to the iceberg, the boy said.
What?
The ride from then on was pretty much silent. The mysterious boy left the group's company and went down the street. Asuka, handed the sows, walking quiet as a ghost, followed in pursuit. She was intent on finding out where this boy came from, where he lived and where he was going. The boy walked, and Asuka eventually began to think it was hopeless, as the boy walked from one edge of Tokyo 3 to another, back and forth until they finally stopped in a park. You must be getting really tired, Asuka. I suggest you go home and sleep, the boy shouted out. Asuka nearly fainted, ran out from the clinic in front of the boy.
How did you know that I've been following you?
You walk as loud as a marching band, and I can sense the rage and jealousy on the surface of your mind. This might well put a sign on you that says, I am a ninny, the boy explains. Again, most scary stews wouldn't use the language, I am a ninny. I would never have seen them use that.
That's it.
I am sick and tired of you just putting these mysterious phrases of yours from out into the air. I'm sick of you being all mysterious and not trusting us with who you are. You haven't been truly frank with us ever since we first met you. It's about time you finally gave us some answers. I want you to tell me who you are, Asuka demands. The boy stared intently at her for 20 seconds, and narrows his eyes and turned away. Stupid kid, he muttered, but loud enough for Asuka to hear. You don't know what you want. None of you do. Asuka finally exploded at rage. She ran at the boy, intending to tackle him. But when she reached the distance of a foot from him, she felt she was just smashed into a brick wall, floating back 12 feet into the ground. The boy sitting right on top of her, holding one hand to her throat. Do you have the slightest idea what my wildest imaginations could do to your body just by thinking about them? You don't know Chira Asuka. You think you do, but you don't. You don't know who you are, you don't know what you want, you don't know why you're here, you don't know where you're going! I can answer the question of who I am once you answer those 4 questions before you! The boy shouts. With that, he fans in the air. Ray stood in the brightness of everything. Straight line! Proper scene transition! A little help! She knew this was some kind of dream or vision, but she didn't understand what was truly happening around her. Whenever she shifted her view from one side or the other, she saw different things. One was of Gendo and Kari, opening the entry plug with his bare hands. Another was of her detonating Unit 0. And the last was of her seeing all the humans being reverted to LCL in the third impact when it occurred in the dream Saley had induced. Then, when she finally looked ahead of her, she saw the mysterious boy. Why am I here? She asked him. You are never away. For the first time, your mind is quiet enough to hear me. He responded. Why are you here? She asked. We have always been here. Ray woke up. Asuka watched Sensei from just outside the door. She was beginning to feel tired, but wanted to get a look at Sensei sleeping on his bed before she slept. Wonder why I feel so happy seeing him like this. Maybe I'm just starting to like the little idiot. Not that bad looking. He never really did compliment himself when he was fighting the angels. Wonder why I always gave him such a hard time. He was just trying to find some sense of self-worth in that cute little head of his. Wait a sec. Did I call it cute? Oh God. Oh sweet merciful God. No! I'm starting to fall in love with him. Oh dear God, don't let it be so, she thought. Nope! I'm not gonna sing, I won't say I'm in love on this fic. Nope, won't do it. No. I already did that once on one ship fic. I'm not doing it here. Nope. Can't make me do it. Nope. See? I told you I'm not gonna do it. Since he smiled slightly in his sleep, Asuka smiled more, then winced. God hates me. I am falling in love with him. I thought my heart had learned its lesson. It feels so good when you start out. My head is steaming, get a grip, girl. You're dying your heart out. Who you think you're crying? He's so hard in heaven to you. Who you keep on denying? He's so earth in heaven to you. No way, no how. I won't say it, no. You sigh, why deny? I will say I'm in love. My apologies. Nope, not sorry. The next morning, Sensei got up, but it was not like usual. Despite his hangover, he was extremely pleased. When Masato came out and went through her usual procedure of the morning, drinking and suddenly snapping into total focus, Sensei did not criticize. In fact, he laughed. Man, that boy must really get a number on you, Sensei. Masato points out, I feel the best I've ever felt in my entire life. The kid's a miracle worker. Alright there, I still somehow have alcohol in my blood from last night, Sensei suggested. You remember everything from last night? Not everything. After the third glass, it gets fuzzy. Then you don't remember singing We Are the Champions with Asuka and Ray in the karaoke bar? And I missed it?! That's real bad! What? Just kidding. Oh! You passed out halfway through the song, and the mysterious boy fits for you. Sensei hung his head down. It was fun. We should do it again sometime, Masato suggests. No. The hangover is starting to get to me, Sensei replied. Asuka walked out from her room and saw Sensei. She held back as a blessed says, You gotta go! Be back here! Immediately afterwards, she ran out the door, leaving a bewildered Sensei and Masato. Asuka stood outside the door and thought for a moment. I've got to ask him out on a date. It's the only way this will work. If he's a complete and total idiot, I know I don't want to do this anymore. Okay, I'll just walk back in and ask him to dinner. Right now. This moment. Immediately. Won't put it off. Yep. Walk right now. Ask. This is gonna help. Yep. Walking in. Even though I'm standing right here, I'm walking in. Going to ask him. I am so pathetic. Ray stood outside in her HQ. Out!
Will you cut it with the scene with glasses?
Watching the reconstructed dream work on Unit 4, all could she think about was the dream she had before waking up in the middle of the night. She thinks about the clothes she's been buying, redecorations she's been doing to her room, thinks of the soul she has now. She collapses to her knees and weeps.
Oh God, why do I feel this way? Why do I have no feeling of self-worth? Why do I feel guilt? What is happening to me? Is it the soul? The soul's now making me pump every blood in my heart count. Why am I not feeling the happiness I desire?
The emptiness around her had no answer to her questions. Ray held her head and screamed. After 10 seconds of screaming, she felt her finger press against her lips. She stopped screaming, opened her eyes and saw the mysterious boy in civilian clothes right in front of her. Ray didn't even realize she had tears coming down her face. The boy took one look at tears on the side of his index finger. Girls with pretty faces aren't meant to cry, Anami, he says. Ray jumped into his arms, still crying. She did not smile. They just held each other. Ray's tears flowed down the mysterious boy's white shirt. When the sir sword, it evaporated the tears as soon as they touched it.
I thought the soul was going to make me happy with my life. It was supposed to let me take control. All it's bringing me is sorrow and regret, Ray shouts.
Regret? About what?
I don't know. I just feel dense guilt. It's eating away in my heart. What's happening to me? Make it stop.
I can't.
You have to. If you stick this soul on me, you can take it off.
It would be like me asking Shinji to just pull his arm off with the other arm. I can't do it. Anami, I never said a soul's the best thing in the world. When someone has a soul, it means they're open to all emotions that human beings can feel. Human beings just don't feel happiness. They have to deal with the sad parts too. The regret and guilt you feel is for yourself.
What?
You feel sorry for everything you did in the past. You killed many angels, and in a sense, their DNA is part of you, because you were created by DNA from Ikari's mother in Lilith, the Zeroth Angel. His story flushed when he said Zeroth Angel, but he continued. You have angel DNA within you, so you feel like you killed a part of yourself. Some type of heritage. You feel like you've been used, like you're some kind of puppet for someone else's game. That's true. Sailor used you from day one to their own purposes. In fact, the only one who truly appreciated and loved you from day one was Ikari's father.
But he used me too.
No, that was a dream. Your soul was hanging onto you by a thin thread. And deep down, it thought Gendo Ikari was using you. Created some kind of part of a dream where Gendo was planning to use you to initiate third impact on his terms. Gendo loves you even to this day.
I'm a clone. Less than a clone. A fake. Why am I here?
Ray stopped embracing the boy and fell to the floor. She looked down the floor, then up to the boy. Much to their surprise, he was smiling, grinning with his teeth showing. Congratulations, Ray Anami. You did it, he exclaims.
What?
You answered the questions that proved that you finally joined your soul. You fall from a state of being a clone to a full human being.
What question?
Why am I here? That question is basically the same as what's the meaning of life.
I don't know.
That's one of life's greatest mysteries, isn't it? I mean, it keeps me up at night. No! I mean, why are we here? In this box canyon, out in the middle of nowhere. We try waiting over there. We're going to have 2 box forts in a box canyon in the middle of nowhere. I'm sorry. If you were just a soul's clone, you might cry a little because you're being used. But you wouldn't ask that question because you already know the answer to it. You've proven your worthiness. Don't worry about the whole angel thing. Do you think they're dead?
Well, yes.
You can't kill a human angel unless they're human, Anami. They're back in heaven. Think of how much you people failed the test they gave you.
You mean?
Yes, you have worth. You killed no one. And you look downright sexy in that red dress you wore yesterday.
Ray smiles up to the air.
Now come on, kid. I'm going to show you the way this nice tanning salon I know. Right, the boy says, leaning Ray out.
Asuka gulped gleefully. She'd been trying all day to ask Shinji out for dinner. But every time she came close, she stuttered and stammered about something else. Said, finally, she built up the courage to walk to Shinji in the kitchen, who was sitting down at the table reading a newspaper. Hey, Shinji? Asuka asked.
Hey, Asuka, did you read the paper? Reconstruction's in the city almost halfway done. They say the school will be open again in about a week, Shinji states.
That's great, Shinji. I'd like to, you see...
Friday, 15th. There at the club on the 49th? Shinji asked.
Raising his eyes from the paper, and still looked up at baffled Asuka. How did you? Well, when someone stares at you for a simple question, they're obviously trying to ask you on a date. You need to have time. Why didn't you say something? It was funny trying to make yourself look like an idiot. Asuka slapped Shinji in the face, a feeling Shinji was getting used to. Asuka turned and walked out the front door. 5 seconds later, she put her hand on the door and said, "Yeah, Friday night is good. Then Misato." She then left. Shinji smiled. Do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do. The something sweet and almost kind. But he was whiny and so wimpy and so kindly. That's not his dear, so unsure. I wonder why I didn't see it there before. She glanced this way. I thought I saw. And when she touched, she didn't shudder at all. It nearly can't be. I'll just ignore. But then she's never looked at me this way before. No, and it's alarming. Who ever thought that this could be true? That he's no Prince Charming, but there's something in him I simply didn't see. Well, who'd have thought? Well, bless my soul, who'd have known? And indeed, who would guess they come together on their own? It's so peculiar. Wait and see. We'll wait and see a few days more. There might be something there that wasn't there before. You made me do this, Linkara! I hope you're happy! Vic, fun, Linkara, enjoy. I gotta prepare for next week, guys. See ya.